Broncos country, what is going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's checked out my Michael Pratt film review that I did yesterday and everybody who's subscribing. I know I got so many of your comments to get back to. I'm so sorry, but I wanted to go ahead and get into this talking about where right now my big board is at for the guys in the mid rounds at quarterback who I would like the Broncos to take a look at. And this has kind of like changed a little bit over time. I guess I didn't really give you at the end of my video like an idea of where I feel like Michael Pratt stacks up compared to some of the other quarterback prospects available. And so I also wanted to follow up after this video or that video to do this video to kind of show you where I would have him. So this is just PFF's big board. Of course, it is most ideal that the Broncos go up. I mean, I think these guys are unrealistic, but I would love to get any of them. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. And JJ McCarthy, if I'm still not really sold on like having to trade up big time for him. If we trade up, a few spots to go get him to like 8, I can live with that. But you're talking about making him a top 5 pick. I just can't really get behind that right now. And I think the most realistic options for us right now are probably Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. So we'll have to see. But let's say the Broncos, for some reason, decide, you know what, I'm going to punt on the quarterback mid-round. Let's go ahead and take a quarterback in the 3rd round, kind of like what the Texans did with Davis Mills the year before they fell to the number 2 pick to grab CJ Stroud. And they had Tyrod Taylor and they had Davis Mills, a guy they selected in the 3rd round as their tank commanders. And you try and see, okay, is there a guy in the mid rounds that we can strike gold with, get lucky with, right? If not, we're in position to go draft a quarterback, sign a quarterback next year. Maybe that's the plan. And if so, if we do draft a guy in the middle rounds, here is who I would like to see drafted out of kind of all these guys right here with Spencer Rattler, Michael Pratt, Jordan Travis, Austin Reed, Joe Milton, and Talia and Tagovailoa and Carter Bradley and Sam Hartman, I guess. Those are the guys that are kind of talked about as being potential drafted guys. First guy I'm going to have up here, Spencer Rattler. I think that he's got pretty good arm talent. He played on a line that was honestly just as bad as Colorado's last year and still productive. I think he's gotten better as a decision maker, but still needs a little bit of time. Don't like that he's 6'1". I like my quarterbacks a little bit taller, but I do like the fact that I think that he can make every throw. I like his moxie. I think he's a good leader. I think he's got good intangibles, and he played in a, somewhat of a pro style there at South Carolina, which I think will translate over to the NFL a little bit better than somebody like Michael Pratt. Again, I did my film review on him yesterday. Clocked a ball like 78 miles an hour at the Senior Bowl, but I just don't really see the arm strength there. And I don't really, right now, he just starts to scramble and use his legs way too often after his first read isn't there, rather than keeping his eyes downfield. And I really do wonder what his kind of upside is. If, yes, he's tall, but I don't think has like super live arm. But he is one of those guys that you would probably say doesn't have any super glaring weaknesses, but maybe necessarily doesn't have anything that makes you go, wow. Also, playing the AAC, lower level of competition, that is something that I know that we see guys buck the trend on that every now and then, but I will value SEC playing experience over Michael Pratt, which is why I think I would honestly, after Spencer Rattler, have a guy like Joe Milton there, and we could probably get him in maybe the 4th or 5th round. Absolute freaking Jamarcus Russell like cannon, but he's either on it or he's way off, struggles with his accuracy, had a terrible Senior Bowl game, and I don't think it was too impressive during the practices either from what I read and listened to, but he's a guy that if Sean Payton is that arrogant, egotistical guy, full of himself, whatever that we all say about him or whatever, if he's too cocky or arrogant, maybe he thinks that he can take a guy like Joe Milton, clean up the mechanics, and he can become really something really special, like we saw with Josh Allen fix the accuracy issues to a degree, once he got into the NFL. So that is kind of interesting. I think that if you're going to take a big swing on a guy in the mid rounds or late rounds, I would like just going for the big upside, the guy with the big tools. And I mean, Joe Milton, even if we draft him after drafting somebody like Penix, I mean, he's a guy that could come in and do some fun things for us. Or if we draft a guy like Michael Pratt that doesn't have nearly as big of an arm, Joe Milton can come in there and freaking throw Hail Marys from like the 30-yard line. You can get that thing to the end zone easily. So I there's going to be some sort of offensive coach that thinks that they can fix Joe Milton. I know the odds will be slim, but might as well. I mean, wouldn't it be exciting to just see a Joe Milton and Jared Stidham tank commander y- combo this year? If that's really how we're going to approach this draft, by building the rest of the team before we get the quarterback, could be kind of interesting. Now, Jordan Travis is an interesting guy. I think I would put him below Michael Pratt like he is here. Big leader, but I think Michael Pratt's a little bit better thrower of the football than Jordan Travis and is not coming off of an injury. So after that, I just kind of don't care. Talia, I think, had a really bad pro day from what I had. And who has a bad pro day? Carter Bradley, was not impressed with him. And Sam Hartman, if we can get him as like a practice squad guy that's undrafted, I think that's great. I think he's a smart dude, has a lot of intangibles, but I mean, what happened this year at Notre Dame? So that's kind of how I would rank these guys. I guess I would go with Spencer Rattler, number 1, Joe Milton, number 2, Michael Pratt, number 3, and Jordan Travis, number 4. I haven't really looked much into Austin Reed, so maybe that's something that I need to do as well, because Western Kentucky has put a lot of quarterbacks into the NFL at that backup level. So yeah, y'all let me know your thoughts. Am I crazy for just saying, fuck it, give me Joe Milton over somebody like Michael Pratt or Jordan Travis there in the middle round somewhere? Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, y'all, go Broncos.